Welcome back to Web App Development with Agile Toolkit, and now I'm going to solve a Fibonacci exercise for you. As per our plan, we're going to clean an index file a little bit so I can specify the name of the app. Let's add a header which says introduction . Okay, and finally I need to add a button which will say start. All right, and let's also make it primary. So that's our starting page. Fibonacci numbers, introduction, we have rules, you can type a bit more in here, and a start button which should link. Let's place a link here, and through the array we're passing the first value inside the array is the page. A equals 0 and B equals 1. Refreshing this one, and I'm hovering my mouse over here to expect the status. Okay, and next, so I'm going to duplicate this file for now. We'll call it Fibonacci, and you'll see there is a little bit of code copying. We'll deal with that very soon. So copying code from one page. So if you're using copy paste for your code, that's not nice. Okay. This should probably say the last three numbers are, and then we'll have A, okay, and finally we'll need to come up with the values of these variables. So I use these variables over here, but where do they actually come from? So A comes from get parameter A, and the same story with parameter B, but the C is calculated as A plus B. So clicking the start, it passes parameters A and B. The sum of them should be 1. The last three numbers are 0, 1, and 1, which is correct. Now this doesn't take us anywhere yet, because we also need to put link in there. Okay, and in here, theoretically we could type Fibonacci, but it's not necessary. So if your page links back to itself, you don't have to specify it. Okay, let's examine our status bar. So it passes A as 1 and B as 1. Okay, let's go ahead and click that. Now the next number is 2. Again, click 2 and 3, 5, 8, and 13. Okay, this works really well. And every time we click, it generates the next Fibonacci numbers. A couple of suggestions over here. My first suggestion is to always include a secondary button which will direct user to the very beginning. So if user is inside your application, he goes to a certain place, quite often he will look for the way how he can come back to the beginning. I'm going to call this button start over, and the link on this button will point towards index page. the other trick I wanted to show you is if instead of the button you use view, then the link looks like it's just a hyperlink. And the final suggestion is to use dividers in here. Let me use divider. There are no components for divider, which is why I'm using a view. Remember that I don't have to specify view, so I can just use parameter UI divider, and it will have this line, right? So now when I click start over, I'm on my index page. Okay, start. Okay, and that's our first application.